Hi, welcome to a very exciting release of the Epsilon WRC wing for the VB and VA, but this video will be for VB Subaru WRX. I'm going to go over what you get, how to expect an install, and also the features and all that fancy stuff, and we'll install it on Juan's car right here. This is our actual Epsilon full body kit car, so this is an aftermarket rear bumper, side skirts and front bumper. So when combined with the wing, looks very unique. I believe we're still the only ones that have released a full bumper for this car, and that is coming out at around the same time. So let's go into the parts. Okay, so in a package, you're gonna get two end plates. You're gonna notice the end plates here have 3 adjustment angles of 4 degrees each. A bottom wing and a top wing. The bottom wing is going to be unique to the vehicle platform you have, right? The top wing comes in the carbon option or in this beautiful plastic option. We may offer pre-painted options in the future, but for now it's either going to be primer, and we're also thinking about adding a default gloss black option in the future. As far as hardware, you're going to include all the hardware, as well as these foam gaskets, as well as double-sided tape, studs, adhesion promoter, and plastic washers. And I'll explain what those are for later. As far as tools, you're just gonna need some Allen keys, a drill and drill bits, and then for the install, you're gonna need like a long screwdriver with double-sided tape on the end of it, and we'll explain what that's for later. You're also gonna get stickers and a badge for the cutout right here on the wing, right there. This wing will come pre-taped here on the bottom edge, and this is a very important part to prevent air from leaking into the wing and ripping it apart. These strakes are currently a pre-order special. We may or may not include these as standard in the future, but if you are seeing this and you pre-ordered or you're an early order, you will get these included. Just note that putting these in will restrict your ability to change the angle adjustment. This is for the middle angle only. So assembly is quite straightforward. In the hardware, you're gonna have these M6 Allen key screws. These go here and mount to your wing bases right here. And these go here, right here, and mount to your wings right here. So pretty straightforward. And finally, these are for your end plates. So your end plates, once everything's assembled, go here. And so we have hardware for this. You may notice that there is some leftover material. No worries, it's very, very thin, so you just punch right through it. So these go right here, and they can thread in by hand with an Allen key. We are currently looking for black versions of this hardware, but it's just kind of hard to come by in this size, so for now we have these button heads. So that done, we go on to the strakes. Strakes, and they will mount right here, like so. And if you don't use them, you can just leave it, and these turn into a nice accent line for the wing. And they also tape to the top of here. So when you have this wing assembled, you're gonna basically end up with something that looks like this. So this is the wing assembled, and it's pre-primered form. We have it in the middle adjustment spot for the strakes right now. The strakes are taped on the bottom, but we haven't bothered taping it on top. And just to show you the bottom, what it looks like before you're ready to install, the badge we put on for photos, and then the tape is on, as well as the foam gaskets for the holes. Additionally, the studs, because if you have a premium, these outside holes are really hard to reach. We give you 2 studs to thread into this. Like that. So we have 2 studs to help locate the outer holes for the guys that have the factory duckbills. So yeah, we use all the holes of the factory duckbills. If you have a premium or a non-premium and you don't have the duckbill, we are currently working on a template for you guys to use. But if you guys don't want to drill holes in your trunk for whatever reason, we would recommend just putting that area, not using the holes, and putting double-sided tape in that area. And that would work just fine as well. But if you do have the holes, then you definitely recommend using them because then you can seal them. And if you do use it, then obviously we recommend you use the foam gaskets along the rear of the wing as well. Cool? So in your package, you're also gonna get a drill template, which you're gonna cut off. If you don't have this, we can link it. But the important thing is to make sure that this is printed correctly. So we always leave a 2x2 inch square in here that you're gonna measure. And you need to see it needs to be like exactly 2 inches. So you see it is, otherwise it's gonna be wrong and then you're gonna drill the wrong size hole and then you're gonna be sad. So, now that we know that this is good, I'm gonna go ahead, cut this out. So there are 2 ways to mark the trunk. This is the template way. There's also another way I personally prefer that so I'll show you both. This is the template way. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna see this line on the trunk right here. And this is Juan's car, so we've already installed it. And you're gonna place this template basically not at the edge, but right where it starts becoming straight again. Right, so you can still see the line. And what you're gonna notice is this lines up with the holes that we already put in. Right here and right here. And if you wanna do the other side, same thing. This will be a little bit easier to see. I line it up to basically where the curve ends. Not the middle, but ends, right? So this right here, same thing. You'll notice it goes right through, goes right through. Okay, so that's the template way. I definitely would measure twice and cut once because of the little bit of misalignment you can have by lining it up. But the other way is the way I prefer to do it. Which is get a bottle of grease or like compound or Vicks yellow sauce or orange sauce if you know what that is. You're gonna grab the wing base. I can just place it, right? Yeah. You're gonna grab the wing base, put a little bit of dab where the nut is, like that. Make sure you get both sides so you definitely know where the middle of the wing is. Like that. And you're going to line it up to the wing. So I'm going to do this. Try and pull that one up. Maybe grab a buddy and place this down over this. And with the buddy here, once it's lined up and placed, it'll leave a nice compound mark, which just so happens to be where all my holes are. Right. So I prefer that method because it's like the surefire way of doing it. But in this particular case, both methods work. Another thing that makes lining these up a lot easier is we deliberately picked 2 very well-known spots. So we have all the trunk pieces removed for this. But you do need to remove all the trunk trim. The trunk trim is quite easy to remove. It's all pop clips, right? Yeah, it's all just pop clips. But you're gonna notice this hole lines right here between these 2 holes right here, and then this hole lines up right in the middle of this metal right here. So it's quite straightforward. And then you can see the same side, right? This hole right here, there's an indent right here. It's on this one, and then same thing right here. So it is it's like you'll definitely know if you got it right if it lands in that area. So drilling, hardest part. Once that's done, everything gets a lot easier. For the drilling portion, you're definitely gonna wanna start with a small drill bit, right? So start with something small, and just make sure your holes land in the right spot, right? So start with a small drill bit, and then once you're comfortable, we usually end up with something like a 1/4 inch. Which one's 1/4? So I would start with small, then go to 1/4, right? Because 1/4 is exactly 6. And then if you need to, go a size up so that you get everything to line up. So the holes don't end up needing to be perfect, but the template will get you like 90% of the way there. I apologize, we can't really film the drilling because we have a demo car that's already been drilled and we installed this, but that's the gist. It's really only 2 holes on both sides, and then if you have the premium version, it reuses all the trunk holes from the duckbill. If you don't have the premium version, you have a base and you don't have holes at all, I've had multiple people ask me, hey, can I do this without drilling at all? The unofficial answer is yes. With enough adhesion promoter, which we do provide, and strong enough 3M tape, like the 1/2" tape, I am pretty confident that the wing will not fly off, but it's not something we can warranty against because I always prefer things to be secured properly. So with that being said, it's time to move on to the wing itself. This is Juan's wing. He's got the nice, very nice carbon version here. We're gonna go ahead and put his foam gaskets on and show you the install. We've already got this wing painted so we can show you the final product. So the wing is ready to install. I have Juan here with me. Say hi. We're gonna put it on the trunk and go from there. So let's go ahead and flip it. So the nice thing about the studs is the studs help us locate the wing. Okay. So now we're in, the tape is on, and we're gonna go through and install the bolts. So Juan has a very unique way of installing this that he thinks as a Subaru owner himself is the easiest way. So everyone has a different way of installing. I'm gonna show you how he does it. One of the things I will note is he likes to get in the car from the trunk to be able to reach these top duckbill holes because they are quite difficult to reach. And then the other, so yeah, he does that. And then the other thing is, this is what the screwdriver is for, right? The screwdriver, the washer that's provided, we put some double-sided tape on it. You can do some tape flipped inside out, however you want to do it. And we go right here, right? Screwdriver right here. And then you can see, I have this nut ready to go in. Okay, so Juan's gonna do that from underneath and go from there. Okay, so Juan got the wing on. It's on there real good. The tape, mostly is doing most of the work here. And it looks pretty good, especially in the full carbon option. We have the option to adjust the angle. We really like the wing. It doesn't impede on any kind of rear visibility. And it definitely perform as an avid mountain driver. He says he notices the difference at speed, especially because in our early production testing, we'd actually have our initial prototype wing actually like bow down quite a lot, and we're noticing a lot of air getting underneath the wing because of how all redirects. But beyond that, the wing is out. It's shipping. It's a new product, so we're gonna constantly make some updates on it, and I hope you like it. So, cool.